right, so we're going to get started just from scratch. If you guys are already ahead, go ahead and continue working on your models. But I just want to show you how to import your AutoCAD files. Obviously, this AutoCAD file has already been cleaned up. Pretty much has all the layering system. There's no construction lines within the drawing. So I'm going to open up my 3D Max, and there's two ways to import. You can go ahead and come here to import and search for your file. Desktop, JSON. And here it's just importing it geometry. If you click this, if you increase this or decrease it, it'll change the curvilinear form of your 3D objects that you've done circles or extrusions with circles. Your layering system will allow you to only import certain layers, and your spline rendering, if you want to bring in splines, you could enable this, and then you could work with rendering your lines, but I'm just going to keep it on default for right now. I'm going to bring it in. Okay, there goes my model. Press Control R for my rotation. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a different way to bring it in. So I'm going to go ahead and press this little key here, go to References, go to File Link Manager, they call it. Then what I'm going to do is show you something. I'm going to go to my file, and then I'm going to go to my desktop because it's on my desktop. Bam, bam. There it is. I'm not going to rescale it. Select layers, attach this file. Okay. It looks good. So whenever, like for instance, I redo my 3D model, I can always just press reload, and it's just like XREF. It'll reload your model, and it'll keep all of the materials with it. Okay, so that's how. Those are two different ways you could bring them in. I don't prefer either way, because I typically, once I'm done in 3D Max or in 3D AutoCAD, I'll just model in 3D Max. But since you guys don't know how to model in 3D Max, you can use those two options to either import a new layer or just reload your model. Number two, what I would do is I would go to Materials, press M, click on this material here, and then I would just select all, or I can press Control A, or I can come here to this layer manager, select all there. Those are three different ways. This little green button is to assign. This little button here is to shade it, so you could see it. So now you could kind of see that you have, you know, cool little deals going down here. So you can at least see it in the mental ray. So my next step would be to create a sun. So I'm going to go here to Create. I'm going to go here to Systems. I'm going to go to Daylight. I'm actually going to go to my top view. And to turn off your grid, you can press G. And then to put multiple screens, you can press Alt-W, FYI. And I'm going to go here to Daylighting. When this comes up, always say yes. And then I'm also going to click in the middle, drag it, and then when this comes up, using your mental ray physical sky, that's giving it the opportunity to use the environment map for your sky. And then you go ahead and just adjust that. Take a look at where it is. If you want to adjust your sun, you could press Setup here. You could do it manually. Press W for move. You can move it. And then also you can go here to date, time, location. You can go here to get location. You can go up to where you'd like your project to be so that you could calculate your lighting and your heating and your overhangs properly. Well, let me get this right. Because in the southern hemisphere, the lighting's different than the northern hemisphere. So you guys got to pay attention to that. Anyway, so you can click the hours, it'll change. Here, the month, the date. So those are the two, you know. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put in some cameras. So I'm going to take this off of orthographic. I like using perspective view. And typically when I am making cameras, placing cameras, excuse me, I'll go here to create, go here to cameras, go to target, and then I'll click and drag, and then I'll also put one in the interior, click and drag, right? And then what I could do just to select the cameras, I can come here to cameras, and I'll go to my side view, front view, same thing. And what I could do is, if I select the middle of it, I could, move my cameras up and down. If I press modify, if I double click this, you could change it, to, whatever, oops. Up and down, left and right, whatever. And then the only one I'm really concerned about right now is the one that's within the space. I'm just going to make sure that it's not in the wall. And then I'm going to press shift so that it copies the camera. And when it asks me for instance, I'm going to say no because it's a camera because I want them to be separate. And then I'm also going to put another one up here. So I pressed shift and I moved it, okay? Okay, now we have all those cameras. So what I could do now is press C. It'll allow me to select all my cameras, right? I'm going to go to my camera view. Awesome. I'm going to press Control R to rotate that a little bit. I'm going to move in using this dolly command here. Move out a little bit so that it's a little over exaggerated. Bam. Who designed that? That's amazing. I'm just playing. You guys probably have some good designs too. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to camera 2, do the same thing. I'm going to come in, press Control R to rotate a little bit. If you hold down your scroll, you will pan it. And then I'm going to use the, oops. I'm going to use this here to come away from it a little bit. The number one rule, make sure you don't cut anything off of your renderings. Like you could probably maybe cut off the here, but like when something's in the sky, make sure you don't cut it off. Any professor will like really get you on that, or at least they've gotten me on that, so I've never forgot it. All right, so that's camera 2. I'm gonna go to camera 3. I'm going to take it off of realistic mode. I'm going to go to shaded. I am going to go into the kitchen. I'm going to over exaggerate it a little bit. I did bring all my furniture modeling and stuff like that, models. So you can press F3, F4 to look at your scene a little better. I'm not sure if I like that. I think I'm gonna go like straight ocean view status. I kind of like that, And then I'm gonna show the living room, because this is all full ocean view on both sides. We'll see. Press C for fourth camera. This is the main bedroom. On the level. So it has a lot more room. There's a little closet there. Walk-in closet. For the guys, because guys like walk-in closets. Alright, bam, there we go. That looks alright for now. And then for the upper roof, I'm going to go ahead and put it back on realistic. Bring it back a little bit. I'm also going to go here, and you can mess with illuminate with default lights or illuminate with scene lights. I'm going to go with scene lights. So it's much more realistic, and that's kind of how you're going to go with the rendering. I put it on this so that like I can calculate where the sun's going to be. I put this cool little shader on here so that I could get some cool like what do you call it? Some cool shadows on here. My little ocean view on the top, and I can make it look like a party out here with just like my photoshopping, you know. Okay, so those are my cameras. I am going to go to perspective view, and then I'm also going to get off of I'm going to use defaults. Okay, and so that is for my cameras. That's for my importing and my basic sun. For your rendering purposes, I'm going to go into materials next. But for now, this is the first video, and I just want to stop it here just to make sure that we covered that and make sure that everybody knows